The latest Doctor Who trailer was full of exciting new shots and glimpses from the upcoming Season 1, the first full season for shooting Atwa's 15th Doctor. I've already done a kind of reaction piece for the trailer. Today I'm going to be doing the deep dive trailer breakdown, going through shot by shot, trying to pick up on every little detail that I can, every little clue, every little Easter egg, things that I've noticed, things that other people have noticed, maybe even noticing some stuff along the way as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we begin with the new unit headquarters, Unit Tower, with the TARDIS zooming there towards it, and then coming towards the helipad with some sparks there between the base of the TARDIS and the surface of the helipad. Now, Russell Davies said in some interview or column at some point over the past year, I can't remember exactly when, but he said that the sparks that appear on the TARDIS in the title sequence for this new era are going to kind of, I think, become more sort of prominent and have a kind of in-universe reason as the series goes on. This would seem to play into that as well. Maybe it's just some symptom of all this supernatural stuff going on and the TARDIS doesn't like it and it's becoming increasingly difficult for the TARDIS to kind of get a hold on this supernatural world. The TARDIS is now inside unit headquarters. Presumably it's come through the kind of the doorway out to the helipad, as we saw in the specials. Speaking of which, amongst the staff members that are stood up by their desks there is a character introduced in the 60th specials, Yasmin Finney as Rose. Presumably now working for Unit, because we see her a bit more in the trailer as well, and we've seen her previously, and we knew she was going to come back in some form. As for how it works with dates and times and timelines and stuff, I have no idea, because Rose was only 15 years old in the Star Beast. So how has she kind of got this job so quickly? How has she kind of grown up so quickly? Obviously, Yasmin Finney is older in real life, but yeah, maybe they'll explain that, maybe they won't. Then the Doctor and Ruby there coming out of the TARDIS. So I think based on the costumes, this is all from the finale, probably the beginning of the finale, so episode 7 at some point, the Doctor and Ruby returning to Earth, and the Doctor saying just one of many lines that he's never said before, "Give me the loving." We then have the TARDIS on the cliff tops, as we've seen previously in both previous trailer footage and on location when this filming was taking place in Tenby in Wales. Now we get a much better look at the TARDIS later on in the trailer, and it looks to be in a bit of a sorry state. It's unclear whether it's already in that state as of this shot or not, because it's so far away. But yes, based on the filming blocks and location stuff from Tenby, this should have to be for episode 4 or 5. We then have some reused footage from the church on Ruby Road, which I'll skip over, followed by another shot of the TARDIS zooming towards the unit tower, presumably from earlier on in that sequence. And then this is interesting because we have what appears to be new footage of Carla and Cherry, Ruby's mother and grandmother, in their flats, but they appear to be wearing the same costumes they were wearing in the church on Ruby Road. And there are Christmas decorations up in the background as well. So I'm guessing this is when Ruby comes back to Earth, back to the present day, for the first time following her first few adventures, which would tie in with this shot of the TARDIS materialising in front of them in the kitchen, a room which the TARDIS seems to be a little bit too tall for based on the ceiling there. Then some more reused footage from that kind of goosebumps-inducing final scene of the church on Ruby Road, albeit with some new dialogue over the top, presumably from episode 1 or very early in the season. So Ruby, do you want to know my secret? I have the whole universe at my fingertips, and I'm all on my own. I'd love it if you came with me. Then a flurry of new shots of the Doctor in various different costumes and in various different locations, beginning here with a shot of him in his 60s outfit from episode 2, The Devil's Cord, with Ruby in the TARDIS there in the background too. Some sort of vast empty space by the look of it. It kind of gives me similar vibes to the Toymaker's Realm from the Giggles, so maybe it's that kind of equivalent thing for Jinkx Monsoon's character. Then the Doctor in a monk's outfit in some kind of fabric-y tent. No idea which episode this is from. Then we have him in his Regency outfit from episode 6 in some sort of spaceship location. There's a hammock there in the background, so I'm guessing this is like the living quarters of a spaceship. And I would wager this spaceship belongs to Jonathan Groff's character, who again I'm guessing is maybe like a time agent or something along those lines. Just kind of gives me those vibes. And the Doctor is being scanned, presumably identified as well, to check that he is who he says he is. And next to him, what do we have there? David Tennant's face, realised as a hologram. So presumably we'll see footage of all Doctors as part of this sequence, not just David Tennant. But yes, there he is. That is the 10th Doctor, not the 14th. It is old footage rather than new, and I believe it's from the next Doctor. Then some more stuff we've seen before with some new dialogue over the top once again. So it's called the TARDIS, it's a time and space machine. Is it safe? No idea. Ruby and the Doctor in the TARDIS, presumably from episode 1. The Doctor pulling a lever in the TARDIS, presumably from the finale based on the outfit he's wearing. We then have him pulling a lever again, but in his episode 1 outfit, which seems to turn off the gravity in the TARDIS, causing the Doctor and Ruby to float in midair. A really fun visual here, and one of many in this trailer. The same is true of this actually, the whole kind of prehistoric dinosaur sequence. Again, one of those things where you think, why has the show never done this before? As a kind of thing of just proving what kind of show Doctor Who is and what the rules of the format are. Love it. And I'm guessing this is maybe the extra pre-title scene that was written later in the day for episode 1 at the request of Disney, who wanted kind of a more exciting opening for the series. The sequence continues with a rather overexposed shot of the Doctor and Ruby. Then the whole butterfly effect thing, again, love this. It's a bit kind of cliched, but again, you want to kind of prove how Doctor Who works and what's possible, what isn't. So Ruby treads on the butterfly, the Doctor's like, ooh. And then beautifully illustrating that whole idea, very, very literally, we have Ruby now as some kind of lizard creature. You can kind of change the whole course of human evolution. Again, it's a little bit cliche, a little bit goofy, but I think it is fun. We have a shot of the TARDIS zooming through the vortex, one of many that feature in this trailer, but I believe this is a new one that's not from the title sequence, unlike the ones that follow it. We then have the TARDIS flying towards some sort of spaceship in the outer reaches of space by the look of it, with all sorts of star rings and bits and pieces and clouds in the background. This could be the spaceship or space station location from episode 1, but I'm reserving judgment at this stage. And the Doctor saying that with all his adventures, he's never seen anything like this before. A shot of the Doctor and Ruby in costumes that I believe are from the finale. And note as well, the Doctor is holding the sonic screwdriver, but not the one that we've already seen. It's a different kind of colour scheme with like yellow and silver rather than the blue and gold. So is this the same Sonic, or are there multiple Sonics? I have no idea, but whatever the case, I think character options are going to have a field day with this, with different variants. Then some more Regency stuff. So Indira Varma there as the Duchess, flanked by 2 of her associates. Then some funky sound effects, and she begins to transform into this sort of bird creature. Now, I had heard rumours about there being bird creatures in episode 6, so this would seem to line up with that. Oh My Bridgerton, says Ruby, a lovely little contemporary reference there that makes the show feel like current and right now. Then the Doctor and Ruby joining everyone else in the room for a good old dance. Then probably the biggest surprise from the trailer actually, which I forgot to mention twice in my reaction, June Hudson, the 4th Doctor costume designer who, amongst other things, created the Doctor's iconic season 18 look, the kind of burgundy variation of the coat and the long scarf. She's an actor too, I believe. She had a role in Class in the first episode, which is quite funny, and now she's finally making her Doctor Who debut. Presumably as one of those characters that dies in the pre-title sequence. I'm guessing this is from the 60s episode, because we then see Jinkx Monsoon waving her arms about with music staves and notes in the background. Yeah, this is going to be crazy. Now this is interesting because there are rumours stretching back quite a few months that episode 3 of the series will see the Doctor step on a landmine and will be kind of like a companion focused episode, a Doctor Light episode, where Ruby has to kind of save the day and get him out of this sticky situation. Now we've got there Ruby in the foreground with a gun and the Doctor standing on something in the background, which we'd actually see in the previously released trailer, like kind of thing with the green lights going around the side of it. And of course, if this is episode 3, that makes it the Stephen Moffat's episode, which is even more exciting. Ruby there in her outfit from the church on Ruby Road, so I'm guessing this is from episode 1 of the series, and she's there saying, "This place is completely mad." We're in a music-themed room now, so I'm guessing somewhere in Abbey Road Studios, with a face kind of pushing up through the skin of a drum, very ominous. Then a shot from episode 5 with a young woman and the slug creature there in the foreground. I believe this character was videoed walking into a lamppost as part of her scene on location, so make of that what you will. Then we return to Ruby Road with a lamppost there and some snow and some mysterious light emanating from the light in the lamppost. This is kind of just opposite the church if you look at the real life location. So yeah, very, very intriguing. We're clearly going to be returning to this site a number of times over the coming season, I'm guessing. We have a glass shattering, presumably in Abbey Road Studios once again, and over the whole of the sequence we have Kate Stewart in the background going, "Things seem to be turning more and more supernatural." So is this the result of more supernatural intervention, like the goblins kind of interfering with coincidence and stuff in the Christmas special? Then we're on Ruby Road once again. We get another glimpse of this mysterious hooded figure, this hooded woman who dropped Ruby off as a baby. Presumably it is her mother, but I suppose it's possible that it's some other character, like doing some dirty work for somebody. Yeah, very, very intrigued to kind of learn more about this and find out who it is under the hood. Then a little sequence of the Doctor and Ruby from episode 1 in this spaceship or space station corridor. So we have seen bits of this before. He's kind of there hugging Ruby, protecting her. She's saying, is it a monster? He says, don't be silly, there's no such thing as monsters, only creatures you haven't met yet. Followed by another look at this bogeyman monster, who's presumably going to be the main sort of antagonist of episode 1. It's giving Vervoid, causing the Doctor and Ruby to run away. Then some more finale stuff. So the Doctor and Mel on that orange motorbike kind of zooming through the streets, which seems to have come to a standstill, and there's some mysterious, ominous smoke there in the background. A unit soldier opens the door for the Doctor, for Lenny Rush's character Morris, great to see him, for Rose, for Kate, for Ruby, one other unseen character as well. But yes, this all seems to be in the unit's base. I'm going to guess the specific room is the chamber, based on something that Russell said in one of his columns months ago. There are powers beyond the universe, so vast, says the Doctor, with a shot there of said universe, presumably. Then a rare moment of rage from the Doctor. So he's there in his finale outfit, in the TARDIS, kind of hovering in space. What has he found? It's kind of giving similar vibes to like the 12th Doctor going to the coordinates where Gallifrey's meant to be in Death in Heaven and finding just an empty space. So could it be something like that? A rather funky shot of what appears to be a musical tuning fork kind of vibrating in water. Sparks flying in the TARDIS in episode 2. A shot of a destroyed, ravaged London, which makes absolutely zero sense geographically because the Houses of Parliament and St Paul's and Tower Bridge and all these landmarks are nowhere near like close together in real life. But that said, it does appear to be some sort of alternate future version of London, so maybe it's explained away in the narrative. Maybe it's just like lazy CGI. This shot would appear to match that location where the Doctor was stood on the mine earlier on, so presumably from episode 3. The Doctor and Ruby watching over this destroyed version of London in their outfits from episode 2, so presumably something has happened in the past which has caused the future to change and London to be destroyed, and the Doctor is saying that the whole world could fall into the pit, this is what we have to stop. A very swanky shot of Ruby from episode 2 in her outfit, from the 60s, with all these music notes and staves kind of swirling around her, she's been possessed by Jinkx Monsoon's character. Then Carla in a new outfit, so presumably from a bit later on in the series, she's there saying, I'm still her mother, I need to know that she's going to be okay. And the Doctor there on the other side of the table, reaching out to her and saying, I will keep her safe. Quite a heartfelt moment actually, and quite a rare moment as well for the Doctor to be interacting with a companion's parent like this. We've not really seen the likes of this since, well, the first Russell era really. Some more stuff from episode 2, with the Doctor creating a very, very bright light with his sonic screwdriver, for some reason. Ruby says, it's taken me all this time to realise what I'm here to do. We're going to save the world. And we have a little montage of Ruby, different shots of her from different episodes, presumably different outfits as well. So this first one matches the Tembi filming, based on a shot that's going to come shortly. Could she be kind of keeping watch over the TARDIS here? She seems to be like sat on a chair with like a rug on her lap, looking slightly distressed, with a mysterious character lurking in the background. A character we also saw in the first trailer, a certain woman with markings on her face who may or may not be a certain Susan Twist. Then Ruby in a pub with some toast and some orange juice, so some breakfast, she's staying over at some sort of B&B or something to investigate something or other. Quite a different looking Ruby with a pair of glasses and a glass of champagne or something fizzy in her hand. I believe this is from episode 4 where she kind of investigates the political party Albion. Something round flies through a window in Abbey Road Studios. We have Ruby struggling to see in what appears to be falling snow, so again is this Ruby Road. Ruby on the kind of war-torn battleground environment where we saw the landmines, so episode 3. The TARDIS zooms towards Earth. We have an extended sequence of the Doctor and Mel on that orange motorbike, and yeah, that is definitely not Bonnie Langford. The TARDIS is scanned by unit, presumably to check it's actually the real thing, and of particular interest and note in the top corner there on the screen, we have 7CN, the American news broadcaster, with a feature titled S-Triad Technology Announcement. Now this is very, very interesting indeed, very intriguing, because first of all, we know there's going to be a company called Triad Technology in the season 1 finale, possibly as the main antagonist, we're not sure. But yes, there's that, and then as well, Susan Twist's character character, this mysterious character who's kind of cropping up all over the place. She's rumoured to be called Susan Triad, and we have some mock magazine covers there, like a Time Person of the Year thing with "The World Will Be Hers" written on the front, and some other stuff like Icon and whatever those magazines are. I believe they were actually first glimpsed in a segment that aired on Blue Peter last year in Russell Davis's office, where he's being interviewed and he's meeting this competition winner or whatever it is. And there in the background are these framed magazine posters, you know, all about Susan Triad. So yeah, very, very exciting, very, very intriguing. Probably warrants a separate kind of video, all this stuff, so, you know, I'll come back to it in the future at some point. But yeah, it's all kind of bubbling away there in the background to hopefully culminate in this finale. We have the Doctor and Ruby in episode 1, then a cut to the Doctor alone at the church from the sequence in the Christmas special. You know, we're going to get flashbacks and stuff where he's feeling guilty about the fact that he didn't go and chase Ruby's mother and find out who she was. We have the Doctor and Ruby in their finale outfits in some sort of big black space with lights and something falling, like something snow-like falling from the ceiling. Maybe that earlier shot of Ruby in the snow is from this scene as well. Then this is very weird, some kind of abstract looking sequence of women in colourful outfits with colourful umbrellas dancing in a corridor that also seems to have rain in it as well. Like, what is that all about? Is it like a literal thing of singing in the rain or whatever, maybe? Then a similar shot of the Doctor flanked by loads of people in Abbey Road studios, kind of all dancing along. Could they be singing as well? You know, could this be part of some sort of musical number that we're not yet aware of? Everything is possible, says the Doctor in his finale outfit. Then the full shot of the TARDIS on that cliff top in Tenby, looking very, very kind of ancient and worse for wear, with moss and with flowers left at the foot of it as well, as if it's like some kind of monument or tribute. It brings to mind various things from the show's past, like that line from the Ninth Doctor or his hologram in The Parting of the Ways, where he says, you know, let this old box gather dust and grow old, or whatever it is. It's that kind of similar idea. You know, not dissimilar as well to what we saw with the Ghost Monuments in the Ghost Monuments in Jodie's era. And also quite spookily similar to something the Doctor suggested in Wild Blue Yonder, in that scene where the Not Things are revealed for the first time. He's kind of talking to Donna about where the TARDIS goes when the Hads takes it off to some other world or place or whatever it is, and he says maybe it lands on some outcrop by the sea, and he talks about how the people there would kind of worship it and turn it into a monument, then it would get forgotten about and time would move on and the TARDIS would still be there, you know, ever present, constant throughout the eras. So very, very similar indeed, and maybe Russell was playing a long game with this, kind of planting the seed there in Wild Blue Yonder ahead of us actually seeing this happen to the TARDIS in season 1. We have Ruby again in this lit up black space, which I believe is from the finale. I think it's like filmed in a theatre or something. Then a reused shot of Kate, a new shot of the Doctor and Mel on the orange motorbike, and finally that shot we saw last week of the Doctor winking to camera in his 60s gear. And there we go, that was the trailer for Doctor Who Season 1. My god, so much to talk about there, so much to try and pack into this video. I've probably barely scratched the surface, but hopefully that was interesting. Do let me know all of your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. You know, overall, I really like this trailer. I think it's really, really nice. A really nice sort of introduction to the show for new viewers, while also having some intriguing stuff in there for long-term fans as well. And I just can't wait to see how it all unfolds come May. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more stuff like this in the future. But otherwise, until the next one, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.